Hey there, Soul Tribe. It's the Joy Healer, Kathy Weiss here, helping people who are feeling stuck, uncertain, or longing for more find clarity, direction, a greater sense of joy and fulfillment from life, and alignment with their soul's purpose. I am coming to you not live from my reading room here on the Central Coast of California with your weekly energy reading for the week of January 27th through February 2nd, 2020. I gotta keep figuring out how to say that. 2020. So, hey, this is the first time I am pre recording your weekly energy reading, and here's why. I have a hot date with the rise of the resistance, like right now, as you're watching this, if you're watching it on Monday, the 27th. And if you don't know what that is, it is a new ride at Disneyland that just opened about a week ago. And if you know anything about me, I am a total Disneyland fan and nerd. I even have my little castle pin on here today. So, the thing that's interesting about this ride is you don't stand in an actual queue. You get a number that they call throughout the day when it's your turn to go on to the ride. And so I didn't want to flake out on you guys if they called my number right when it was time for your energy reading. So I'm hooking you up by doing it in advance. And if you like this format, you can just comment or throw me some hearts or some likes down there, and maybe we'll keep doing it this way. But just know I am still only one and doneing this video as though it were live so that I am channeling the messages and information you need. It's not edited and it's not pre-written, okay? So before I get into your energy reading for the week of January 27th, I am going to do a little bit of energy healing through the video. And just trust me that the concept of space and time is different. It really kind of doesn't exist with energy. And so it's possible that while I pre recorded this video, you're still going to receive the energy when you're watching it. So, and you don't have to, okay? If you want to receive the energy, you're just going to have your hands in an open receptive position. It could be out in front of you like that. It could just be down, hands open down on your lap, or out, out to the side, up overhead, whatever feels right. And if you don't want to receive the energy, totally fine. Just put your hands in some sort of closed position, face down on your lap, light, don't clench, but just light, gentle fists or palms together, something like that. So give me one moment to tap in. What I'm going to be doing is running today. What I feel called to most is a gold energy. And this gold is clear, like the crystal citrine, if you know what that is. It's a warm, kind light. Give me one more moment. I'm kind of feeling it like gathering some intensity. Okay, all set. So let's get into your energy reading. We're kind of going to go into a little bit of a flashback. And guys, if you see my eyes bouncing around, because I'm pre-recording it, I'm not quite sure if I should be looking at the camera, if I should be looking more at the screen. So would you do me a favor when you watch this? Will you tell me if it makes more sense to look at the camera, which is up here, or if it makes more sense to look a little bit more direct? That'll just help me if we decide to go with this another time, okay? So I'm going to flash back a little bit to the endish of 2019. We had gone through this long period of change. And as that period of change wrapped up around early to mid-November for us, many people went through some sort of an aha moment, or they had an understanding or a realization about themselves or their life or some circumstance that they're experiencing. That's going to be a little bit of a piece of the reading for this week. So just kind of hang on to that. The next part is that the New Year energy window portal has closed, and a lot of us in that time frame will do something like choose a guiding word for our year, or we'll set some achievable goals for ourselves, or some people like to call it a resolution, or create a vision board. It's sort of that time of year where we like take stock and we get ready to create new forward momentum. Okay. So those two pieces are coming together this week. And what I see in my mind, remember, energy doesn't have words or sounds or anything. It's a wave, like a light wave or a sound wave, but it doesn't have sound. And I have to interpret it in my mind with images, and that's called clairvoyance, or through what sounds like words, which is called clairaudience. And so I'm using my gifts as a highly sensitive intuitive and a clairvoyant and a clairaudient and a source energy channel to get it all to you. So I see this image in my mind of like a board, like white, just like a white sort of board or platform or something like that. And you're standing on top of it. And the whole thing is starting to like tilt. And I'm tilting towards my left because in the way I'm seeing this in my mind, I'm seeing it tilt to the left. And what I'm sort of feeling about that is that life is starting to go a little sideways. Does that make sense? It's like we set all these beautiful intentions and goals and guiding words, and we had these big aha moments in our lives, and we felt really solid and like the year was off to a great start, but something has happened to distract us. We're feeling stressed out or reluctant or heavy, or a life event that was unexpected has come up, and everything is just like going a little sideways. Totally okay. What I'm hearing from the collective guides of Source, and hey, just a little reminder if you didn't catch last week's video, I just discovered the names of who I've been channeling for the last several years, and it's the collective guides of Source. And to me, these guides feel like an intermediary between Source and us, and really our human side as opposed to our soul side. So, what they're saying is that this tilting and sideways thing that's happening for us this week is like a test. And they're just saying, like, did you mean it? Did you mean that guiding word? Did you mean those goals? Did you mean those resolutions? Did you understand the aha or not? And it's not a like good or bad thing. Yes, like it doesn't matter. But it's like a moment of recalibration. So as things go sideways and we're in this test, did you mean it? Did you not mean it? Either you didn't because you're not ready, you're not willing, you have some other life lesson you need to learn, there is a soul contract in place. Like there's so many reasons why you didn't mean it. So don't, like, there's no judgment. Don't beat yourself up. Don't have a hard time. But if right now you didn't mean it or it doesn't serve you, you're going to like be sliding off the edge of this platform thing back to like where you were, probably around just before the start of the new year or just before the aha thingamajigger in November. Or you meant it, but guess what? You've got to prove it. You've got to dig a little bit deeper. You've got to climb up to the edge of the platform and press down to write it again. So there may be some efforting. There may be some recommitment, more masculine. This, if you're going to slide down and take a step or two back, we're going to call that more feminine. We're going to call that surrender and acceptance and patience. Not good, not bad, just different. And again, this is just an image to describe the energy, okay? So they're both right, but the question is which is right for you right now? Feminine, surrender, acceptance, patience, waiting. Masculine, doing, striving, assertion, recommitment, a little bit of willpower efforting for a bit until things feel more even and right and steady and balanced again. Making sense? So you have two options. Oh gosh, guys, I have two decks of oracle cards, and I just realized as I was describing and talking about the feminine and the masculine, I set my two decks of cards out before I started the video without thinking about it. It was just natural because these are like cousin or sister or brother decks, whatever you want to call them, by the same author. And this one on the right, the Mother Mary Oracle, has a little bit more feminine energy. And this one over here, that's my left, which may be your right. Sometimes the camera thing confuses me. On this side. And over here on this side, which is my right, is a more masculine deck. And what I'm going to do to support your reading today is choose a card from each of the decks so that if you are more needing that feminine, it's time to surrender and slide down off of this platform for now. Remember, it's always temporary and things are always changing, and that it is just as good and right as the other way. But if that's you, then this first card is going to be for you. And if the more masculine, efforting, willpower type of energy is what you need to write yourself back into alignment with some of your decisions and goals and whatnot, then that card's going to be for you. Hang out and watch both no matter what, because sometimes there's like a little tidbit that could still be supportive for you. So I'm just going to quickly shuffle the Mother Mary deck. When you work with me live in person in a private session to help realign with your joy and your soul's purpose and get clarity and direction, you get to choose where the card comes from. When I'm doing it pre-recorded, I'm going for that natural break in the deck right there. Okay, so for our feminine needing friends, we have Our Lady of the Sacred Hearth. And you always recommend you take a little pause, look at the image, and kind of just ruminate, like what thoughts or feelings or ideas popped into your head. Did the words trigger anything for you? I just looked at it and I was going to say more, but I looked at it and I noticed this little tiny baby being held by the mother image. And I just was like, oh, that's you. If you're needing this feminine energy, it's like you just need to be held and nurtured and given time. It's like you just need the time right now. And that there isn't any rush for whatever this is. And that this platform, this goal, this resolution, whatever it was, just give it time to write itself while you surrender into what is. But let's check in the guidebook. I always love to grab a sentence or two of the author's intention. One more page. Here we go. This guidebook has got tons of juicy info. So it's a great deck too. If you're like, oh, I wonder if I should get a deck. This is probably my favorite one. I'm just peeking in to see what is really being called for you right now. And it says, perhaps we fear we will fall back into old patterns, becoming smaller rather than trusting that we have grown enough internally to support ourselves as we rise to the challenge of stepping into the next cycle. That is super key, and that's where surrender comes from. If it so happens that you are needing to go into surrender, it doesn't mean that like everything reverts back to some way of being that doesn't serve you anymore. As a matter of fact, the greatest lesson, what I'm hearing from our guides, is that the greatest lesson that you need is to understand that sometimes you can be softer and gentler, and that doesn't impede your growth. And it actually contributes to you growing in a new way that you haven't before or you haven't in a really long time. So know that you are held. That's why I felt so drawn to that image. Our guides are saying you're held in the surrender. You grow in the surrender. And if you welcome the surrender and give things a little bit of spacious time, you're going to come back to the same place. And guys, remember, it's like the race is long, the road is long, and the only person that you're ultimately traveling with is yourself. There's no winners or losers, okay? Masculine, for those of us who it's almost like in the prove it, the universe is like, I threw you a test. Right? Like, I threw you a test. Did you mean it? Did you mean to commit to greater physical fitness? Did you mean to commit to writing a blog post every week? Did you really mean it when you said you were going to find a new career within 6 months? Like, prove it and step up is sort of the energy on the other side of this week today. So again, I would invite you, if you were working with me one-on-one, to choose the card that's right for you. I am feeling super drawn to way down here where something's kind of sticking out. And this card is receiving. Same idea, take a look, think, feel what comes up for you. You can let me know in the comments below at any time. And again, even though this is pre-recorded, I'm going to come back in and check the comments and things like that and respond to you. So you can let me know what's coming up, if anything, for you with receiving. And what was interesting to me is that I kind of felt and heard like, this is just the opposite side of the coin of this. Like, even if there is a recommitment happening, you need to be able to receive the guidance. You need to be able to receive the help and support. Oh, and you need, here, super loud, you need to be willing to ask for the help that you need. And sometimes that's spiritual guidance, and sometimes that's human helpers. Guys, if I could tell you how many human helpers I have hooked up with in the last, like, 3 weeks? I think I've had at least one human helper a week for the last 3 weeks, in a couple of different aspects of my life. Because we're not meant to go it alone. And there are people who have gone before us or have skills and tools and expertise that we don't have. And part of your spiritual journey and part of being a wise spiritual warrior and like a warrior for your joy is to recognize when you've got it and you're good and you don't need a human helper, and when you do, and that it's safe to reach out for human helpers. And that's why human helpers are here, like myself. And how stoked we get when we get to help you. And I know when I just had a mentoring session yesterday, and I just know my mentor was like so fired up to work with me. So know that part of the masculine side of writing things is receiving what you need. There's like a divine graciousness in that. The guidebook, because it's the same author, also pretty juicy. Gonna grab you a tidbit here. You are so loved. Your energy need is witnessed and responded to by the universe. You sometimes forget this because you get swept up in the momentum of habitual, it says consciousness, right? But habitual ways of being. You forget to take a moment to stop and breathe and receive the love of the universe. Super important. You got to make sure you're receiving. Otherwise, you're just going to like go up and over the edge and like burn out. I'm going to call it, that is, yeah, that's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing if you charge up this to write your platform and you don't take time to receive the things you need, you're just going to like fall right off the edge into burnout, illness, injury, whatever life lesson you would need to learn about that side of the energy wave. Yeah, you with me? Let me know, okay? Give me a second. I feel like I just want to check in and hear if there's anything else that we need for this week. You often see me look up and to my right because that is the side that I hear on, is the best way I can describe it. But I'm hearing like really like, nope, we're good, we're complete. So thank you so much for watching. And again, I would really appreciate you helping me out by letting me know how you enjoyed the pre-recorded format, because it means it got to your inbox or over there on Facebook or YouTube earlier than normal. So maybe it set you up for a better week. And if you would also help me out, like I said, with the camera, like, am I looking there or am I looking there? I'm kind of like figuring that out. Life is a process, guys, and we are all allowed to be perfectly imperfect and to take baby steps forward in improving ourselves as not only humans, but as spiritual warriors for joy, alignment, love, freedom, clarity, and our soul's purpose. You are awesome. I love and value and appreciate you. Thank you so much for watching. I will be back next week for your first February 2020 weekly energy reading. And based on your comments, we'll see if that one's going to be live or pre-recorded as well. See you again very soon. Oh, hey, last note. Follow my Facebook and Instagram stories because I will probably be dropping some Disneyland stuff as well as my reaction to the new ride at Disneyland. So if you're kind of a Disneyland dork like me, follow along. I love you guys. You're awesome. Namaste. Bye.